Hey, true believers, Englentine here with another episode of Marvel vs. DC. Pretty cool show. I read and review just little reviews to give you a little taste of what's going on here. 10 or 12 issues from DC, 10 or 12 issues from Marvel, and then we score them. 1 star's horrible, 2 stars bad, 3 stars average, 4 stars good, 5 stars excellent. Then score them to see who wins the week. Is it Marvel? Is it DC? And along the way, every review is basically ordered worst to best, so you're getting the countdown. So make sure you stick to the end of the video to see who wins the week. And without further ado, let's get this party started. The 1-star books are horrible, so it's a good thing that once again I have none this week. The 2-star books are merely bad. They could have been horrible. Maybe they just have this one little saving grace. X-23 is... oh, I forgot the issue number. Oh well. Anyway, this is a very mundane story that we've heard before. It's the whole we found a clone of a clone of a clone. I would love for it to come up like a copy of a copy, just not all in the head. But it's boring. It's a boring, very boring tale. We've seen it before. There's nothing new added to this. It's just bleh. And then you get this scene where Honey Badger's like, I'm going to do what I do when people are shooting at us. And, like, nobody actually hits her. And if they do, big deal, because they heal instantly. There's no tension in this book. Harley Quinn, number 57. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so Batman discovers obvious clues at a murder. I mean, seriously, they're so obvious that it's like, well, yeah, I mean, this is a setup, but he's like, oh no, Harley did it because, you know, bad writing. And so he goes to confront her, and Harley beats the shit out of him because he's Batman and not, you know, one of the greatest fighters of the DCU. Oh, and she does get offered to be a god of order and chaos and such. It's not a very good book, guys. It really isn't. Captain Marvel number 1. Wow, I did a full review on this, so please, by all means, check that out. It was less than stellar. Don't let this cover fool you, though. The interior art is actually pretty good. Right up until they give her that dumbass side haircut with the hair flip. It's ridiculous. Yucca. But yeah, it actually looks pretty good. The story is trashed, though. I mean, this is a useless book. There's nothing in here that has any impact to what the last page says the story's going to be. It's pure drivel, and the relationships are false based on what happened before. Thor number 9 it's not a Thor book. It follows a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who takes down a frost giant because she's got a Wakandan supersuit. What really bothers me, though, okay, now that I just said that, Wakanda now has a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarriers flying around calling superheroes agents of Wakanda, saying that they're going to protect the... When did Wakanda take over the freaking world? I'm sorry, coming of the War of the Realms. Fuck that, Wakanda's taken over the freaking world. There should be a War of Wakanda. But that's just me. Anyway, the book wasn't very good. Batman number 62. The Pig. I like the Pig. The Pig, to me, is one of Batman's creepiest villains. So I see them on the cover, I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to check this out, because there's no morality in here. It's almost like the Joker, but the Joker is like big and loud, and he's just quiet and creepy. And so moving on to the story, it sucks. I mean, this book sucks. The covers are so much better than what's inside. I don't mind someone looking for deeper meaning and kind of preaching it a little bit, so long as it's actually done well. But this reeks of pretension. Oh my gosh. And ultimately, it means absolutely nothing. And that's the worst part. From the beginning to end, where it begins to where it ends up is like a circle. And it's nothing. Web of Venom. Venom Unleashed. Now, I have to say one more time, I'm not a big fan of the character Venom, and that may have colored my review of this. That being said, I am a fan of sequential art, so if you don't have words and dialogue in a comic book, I'm okay if it is done well and it tells a story. In this case, I don't think it was done well. I think there were a lot of confusing moments, a lot of muddled moments. overall. The only real bit of story comes at the very end, and ultimately, this is a bargain bin comic book, and if you paid full price, sorry, man. The 3-star books are average. They either didn't resonate with me or I liked them, but just not enough to recommend them to you. Young Justice, #1. I did a review for this for Patreon and Ko-Fi supporters, and, wow. I wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be better than this. Love this cover, by the way. This is my favorite. A lot of stuff to unpack. Teen Hex is a horrible idea, and she comes off cringy. Teen Green Lantern, and is how she's called, Teen Lantern, is ridiculous. It's like they're handing out rings like bubblegum now. It's really, in order to try to be funny and outward, it ends up being manic and crazy but annoying. And that's the biggest problem with the book. It's just flat out annoying. I didn't like it. I didn't like the tone of the book mostly. Nightwing, at last, the return of a name I'm just, no, I'll say Rick, but I will never say the other one together. It's Dick Grayson, guys. That's who Nightwing is. Now, I've been liking this storyline about how the cops found his gear and decided to act like Nightwing. That's been fun. I've enjoyed that, actually. I do not care for what they've done to Dick Grayson. So I actually enjoy everything around him, but everything with him pisses me off a lot. Avengers #12 is boring. Sorry, but this is a recruitment video, right? This is a recruitment comic. He's going around, I need another team of Avengers, and I'm going around recruiting them. And he sets a whole bunch of people on a whole bunch of missions that seem far more exciting than what we're seeing. Like at one point, Kazar goes to Atlantis by himself, nothing but a knife, comes back with all the information needed plus a big-ass fish to fry. Yeah, I want to see that rather than him going, you think this person's good? It's a dull-ass book. And then he talks to Odin, and all I'm thinking of, wow, the way you're talking to Odin, I want to see Odin bitch slap you just once. Seriously. I mean, can we have an Old Norse god act like an Old Norse god, especially since he's the High Father? Oh, you know, nope, that's for another video. I'm already done. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #1. So what to say about this? You could always use another Spider-Man title. Didn't they just cancel one? Anyway, it's fun. It's written by Tom Taylor of X-Men Red fame, and you know how much I love X-Men Red. But actually, this one did turn out to be a little bit fun. The art is fine. There's nothing bad about the book. There is some mundane about the book. And there is a couple of scenes where they try to make him smart alecky, but instead they make him just kind of annoying. You know, where it's like, okay, well, if we just shoot everything at you, something might stick. But it's not the funny kind. It's the kind where, you know, the guy is trying to be funny, but instead he's bombing like really bad. There's a section of the comic that was like that. Ultimately, this was an enjoyable comic book, but it does have some work to do in order to become a good comic book. Suicide Squad Black Files #3. Now, this entire story, it deals with Katana. There's also one that deals with, oh my gosh, not Brimstone. Shoot. Anyway, the Katana story is the one I want to focus on because that's why I buy the book. They're in the Soul Sword, her and her husband, and they're just enjoying life, trying to get a way out. And, well, not so much enjoying. There's also fights and stuff like that with vampire children and things. But it still makes me wonder, okay, if you can get yourself out, why can't you get him out to at least go to whatever afterlife or ending that your religion relies on? You know, just I still think that's a plot point that they have to confront for this to be a complete and whole story. I don't think they will. It's an entertaining story. But there's just this big truck-sized plot hole in the middle of it. Man Without Fear #2. So last issue was all about him and his nightmares, the fact that his body is trying to tell him to stop being Daredevil because of all the punishment it gave him. This time it's him dealing with the fear of giving up Daredevil. And this is a very talky book. This is not an action-packed book. It's all about existential crisis. It's all about the crisis of identity, I guess, figuring out who he is if he doesn't do what he's always been doing. And so don't come to this book expecting any kind of action or anything. It's decent. It's not great, but it is a good book. And one of the reasons why I'm saying this is I'm enjoying it, mind you. But we all know where it's going to go. Unless they're going to retire the Matt Murdock character permanently and forever and ever, we know eventually where he's going to get to, and that means we're waiting for him to get to the point that we know he's going to come to anyway. Anyway, there you go. Deathstroke, number 39, continuing the Arkham series. This is a weird one. I mean, at first it didn't seem like everything connected. It's just random scenes and I guess this is kind of funny to say, but a low-rent Deadpool, which we obviously know is a low-rent Deathstroke. and he's just spouting off. But after a while, it does catch its stride and it becomes really good. You see Hugo Strange really challenging Deathstroke and such, so the book does get better, but I've got to say overall, it is a little bit flat. Yeah, I'm doing this a little bit out of order, but it's because of this. Even though the 5-star books are excellent, I did not have a 5-star book this week, and so I didn't want it to end anticlimactically, so just including this here. The 4-star books are legitimately good, and I am proud to recommend these to you. Green Lantern number 3. So Earth has been taken, shrunken down, and is now being sold by slavers to God, or a god. And I'm thinking, wow, this is like major crossover thing to happen. I like it because it kind of reminds me of an old stupid Silver Age book. You know, oh my gosh, look, it's dangling on a string. I've got the Earth in my hand. That kind of thing. Granted, they kind of updated the story a little bit for us, but seriously, I'm still thinking World on a String kind of 1964 Silver Age funny story. Star Wars number 59. It's a tale of deception and character, with actually a lot of action in it considering what's going on here. I mean, you know, you have what's going on the cover, and Han does get into a shootout, but the entire story is, can you trust people based on them just being nice? Their actions do mean a lot about their character, and that's the theme. It's a pretty good one as well. I do like the dialogue. I do think the art can be a little creepy, though, because it's damn near photorealistic, and it looks like just somebody popped a picture of Han Solo's head on an artist's comic book rendering of a body, so it's kind of weird. Overall, though, it's a pretty good book. Archie meets Batman number 66, number 6. This is the conclusion here, and oh my goodness gracious, I love this book. I love this book. This is a joy to read. It's so much fun. Now, it's got all the earmarks of Batman 66, all the crazy little innuendos. It's got all the stupid camp dialogue. It's everything you love about that book, plus Archie. And in this case, it's got the crime-fighting Archies as well. And they end the book, spoiler alert, doing the Batusi. What's more to love than that? Justice League number 15. And they say it's the Battle of the Hawks on the cover. But, I mean, there's that too. There is that. It's really a kind of a break-in story. But it is pretty cool. And I do like the stuff with the Thanagarians. That did work out. And there was also a fight with the Hawk Girls. But ultimately, it's kind of funny because I just did the first appearance of Zatanna on First Appearance Friday. And they mentioned the Absorbicon, and that actually is a plot point now. So, wow, that just kind of jazzed me. And I dug it just a little bit more because of that. Uncanny X-Men number 9. This series has been getting better. And I've been enjoying it for quite some time now. When it started, I was like, oh, this is boring. But it really did pick up. I'm enjoying this. X-Man is taking over the mind of Legion, which is a feat in itself. And things are looking pretty bleak. That is how it should be. You should feel the stakes. Will there be any at the end? Probably not. However, as it goes right now, it is a thoroughly entertaining story. It's like X-Men of old, almost. Green Arrow number 48, surprisingly a lot of character moments in this. You know, there's, of course, the action scenes. He deals with a tagger early, and it turns out to be ultra-far Antifa kind of person. And when he says something, the person gets mad and says, I heard you were SJW and you're not our, because they, you know how it is. Anybody to the right of Antifa, they think you're a Nazi. So he has to deal with that. And I love the fact that they've been adding that to the Green Arrow books. Also, Count Vertigo. You can never go wrong with him versus Green Arrow. He's second down from Merlin. Star Wars Age of Republic Jango Fett number 1. They're doing the same thing with Star Wars now that they do with Marvel. This isn't a number 1. It's a one-shot. It's not... I hate it when they do this. Anyway, but it's a good book. It is. It actually is him trying to teach Boba how to be a bounty hunter. Starts off with him going on a job, and it's like, I brought something with me, and it's Boba, and he just... I mean, literally, it's a father-son thing. And it's very relatable. Not to mention, it's got a lot of action. This is a really cool book. I recommend this one. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 2. Alrighty, first off, I do not like it when they destroy their villains, Marvel, I'm talking about, destroy their villains by making them into heroes. I do like it when they show them humanity, when they show their humanity, I should say. In this case, you've got Miles Morales teaming up with the Rhino, and Miles even questions, wait a second, aren't you a supervillain? He goes, I don't have any warrants out for me now. And he says, fair enough. I like that because it does show that Rhino has humanity. He wants to save his niece, but they're not turning him into a hero or anything like that. Otherwise, this book, man, it was a lot of fun. I am so far liking me some Spider-Man. Man. The Adventures of Super Sons, number 6. Continues to be a great book. Continues to be a lot of fun. And in this case, what's his name? Tim Tamara? Anyway, yeah, they end up chasing after a little monkey creature that tries to steal their food, and end up liking it. That ends up being a little bit of a distraction. They deal with Lex in this, and then end up getting captured. It's pretty damn cool. It's a lot of fun, man. I do like the fact that even Robin refuses to eat because he's on an alien planet. He's afraid it would do to his system. There's a lot of little touches like that. And what really sells the book, though, is the interaction between John and Damien. I'm not the only one that says that. It definitely is a book you should pick up. The Curse of Brimstone, number 10. You know, a lot of people are saying Silencer's the new best book. But, man, this is right up there with it. I'm telling you, here we get the origin of Wandering Jack, which is a serial killer, and we find out exactly how and why he's been getting away with all the murders he's committed. What a great story this is. And it's also a story of identity, of not like, identity politics, but of self, of what you know versus what you can do. And it is so much deeper than it makes itself out to be, and it's just so much more fun. And the number 1 comic book of the week is The Punisher number 6. Man, it's good to have The Punisher back. These books are freaking awesome. If you haven't been reading this, you're doing yourself a disservice. That is, if you can stomach The Punisher. I mean, he's sometimes superhero, but not this time. You know, I mean, he's the vigilante again. He's the bloody, gonna kill you because you did bad vigilante. It's kind of funny. I read recently that Jerry Conway never meant him to be an anti-hero when he created him, but as he was writing him, he became that. You know, it was just a natural fit. In this, though, wow, it's kind of hard to put the word hero to anything he's doing. And in this case right here, he's just being tortured by Baron Zemo. And it is just gruesome and badass. I love this book. So there you go, gang. That's all the reviews and how they're ranked. Let's find out what the scores are and who wins the week. DC Comics had 0 1 stars, 2 2 stars, 4 3 stars, 6 4 stars. There were 12 comics with a score 40 and an average of 3.33. Marvel had 0 1 stars, stores, 4 2-star, no, I'm gone, 4 2-stars, 3 3-stars, 5 4-stars. There were 12 comics, a score of 37, and an average of 3.08. So DC won the week this week. Last week was a tie until we went to weird math in order to figure out who won. So officially it's a tie. This, you know what, actually, if I keep track, maybe at the end of the year I could tell, hey, this person won, this company won the year. I'm not that obsessed, though. So there you go, gang. That is the countdown. Those are the reviews. What do you think? What do you think I reviewed too harshly? What do you think I was too kind about? And, you know, which ones do you think I missed, though, from Marvel and DC? Because I know there were a couple of books I didn't read. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, come on back. It's going to be every Monday, or between Saturday and Sunday I'm going to have this video up. This was supposed to be a Saturday thing. Also, don't forget to hit like, share, get word about the channel, of course. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't done that. And more importantly, that notification bell is what YouTube really cares about, so make sure you ring the bell. Also, this is the way I'm trying to make a living, so if you don't mind helping the channel, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 until, or if you don't like using Patreon because they decided to add to the culture war, go on over to Ko-Fi. It's even got a tip jar, no monthly commitment. Just drop $1 in, and there's even going to be content on there for those who do that. So I like to thank everybody who has already donated, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.